and they occasionally the cameramen they pivot to people that are like cosplaying and stuff. There's people with straight up like, you know, Doc and Alibi and Hibana and Brooke and Castle and Ace and Valk. Yeah. Somebody, I don't know if it was somebody that's like sort of a streamer and like famous or what, but somebody that was cosplaying as Valk, she had like 3D printed actual little plastic like cams that looked like the Black Eye cams. It was really cool. But anyway, I really want to go to a R6 major at some point with you guys. I think that would be
there a more lopsided territory between men and women. You were talking earlier about how women get the short end of the straw with like pregnancy and stuff, how it's harder to be a mother than a father. But boy, I'll tell you what, it is harder to be a male cosplayer than a female one.
And it's not close.
Pretty much every female cosplayer, there's some guy at the convention who's like, you want to and then just like most of the men are just like fat and gross. It's like nobody wants to talk to them.
Hello and welcome to Grass Touchers, the show where the three of us pals catch up, talk about video games, despite how much time we have for them. You know the deal. I am Jake.
I'm Jared.
And I'm Greg.
It's been a week. It's been a busy week. We've already talked about that pre-recording a little bit, but, you know, all will be well in due time. Jared, what have you been doing, man?
I have continued to play old video games on my handheld like I promised myself I would. I beat. I'll send this to the chat over there. Proof that I beat Buffalo Wild Arms, the first one.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Buffalo Wild Wings.
No, it's
Buffalo Wild Wings had a little-known Game Boy Advance game that they passed out with 48 packs of.
They used to do that though. Pizza Hut would hand out discs for like demo discs or whatever for PlayStation.
Yeah,
you guys remember that?
That's right.
Did you?
Yeah, there's that legendary. Was it Pizza Hut or Pepsi or Sprite or some? There's some.
There was a Pepsi Man game that only released in Japan, but then they also made Yo Noid, which was like the Domino's pizza. Yeah.
Noid. That's what I was thinking of.
Jared, did you ever have the PlayStation magazines that came with the demo CDs in them?
Like, I think we had one because like we didn't do that. My parents didn't do that kind of stuff. Like, that was not money that needed to be spent. But like, I think I
begged
one
my parents for
a demo disc.
This is like only 90s kids, I know, but I begged my parents for a subscription to like Game Informer or Nintendo Power or whatever, because you'd get little freebies in the mail. You'd get a disc or you'd get a sticker or you'd get something cool, and I was like, oh man, dude, so cool.
EB Games. It used to be EB Games.
Electronics Boutique, yeah.
EB Games. They did it for a while, and then Game Informer is RIP, which is really very sad because it was actually Game Informer was a huge part of my childhood. But they did a thing where you would pay like for some kind of a membership, and you got a year of Game Informer magazine with it, and we were balling at that point because it was like 10% extra trade-in credit and then 10% off of used games, and it was like at that point when they told my mom that, and she was
how did they ever go out of business?
And then she was like, "That's a great deal. That sounds great," because she was always taking us. I was always begging her to take me to EB Games. I was like, we're balling for real now. If my mom thinks it's a good deal, then this is a good deal, dude.
Yeah, for sure. I had that kind of similar deal at Game Crazy, because there was one in Sanford where we would go all the time, and they had some kind of membership thing where you would get extra trade-in credit, and it was like, am I stealing? You guys, you're not making money. Of course they went out of business. They went out of business.
Well, they still, I mean, the profit margins on those used games is so funny. I heard there was a bunch of litigation with the big publishers. They were like, they're making all of our money because they're buying used games from people and then reselling them and making a ton of money off of our thing.
They could sell the same game 14 times in one store because it's Madden and people will always buy it.
Right. They'd sell the same.
Okay, so
copy of
Buffalo. You've been playing Buffalo Wild Wings.
Buffalo Wild Arms.
That's pretty cool.
I beat that. I beat the first one. Great game.
Nice.
I'm gonna give it a retroactive 8 out of 10, and then I'm gonna give it a current 6.5 out of 10. The music
I
makes
appreciate the distinction.
Right. The music makes up like 6.4 of those points, by the way. The music is very good.
Okay.
It's very charming. The gameplay is extremely dated. There's a ton of random encounters. I mentioned that last week.
Right.
But I enjoyed it, and I've moved on to – I'm trying to go through like these old – I'm trying to move up like kind of chronologically through these games that I never played, that I want to experience. And I'm kind of on a JRPG thing right now. I started playing Suikoden.
I know that name. What is that?
Very popular games, but the first one, I'm playing the very first one, and again, it's very simplistic. But like from everything I've read, I'm excited because everything I've read, people are like, if you like the first one, you're gonna absolutely love the second one. They made everything; it's just way, way, way better. And then I'm excited to move into like PlayStation 2 on my Steam Deck and the games that they made for those that are like way more fleshed out. I'm very excited. I'm having a good time with that.
You see the remastering
That rocks.
This is the original. I'm playing the original on PS1, but
Oh,
they
no,
probably remastered it.
No, it's coming out next month. The remaster's coming out next month.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, dude. Okay, well then
Nice. How
you guys will
topical.
buy it and
Jared's
play it.
on it.
What's that?
I said that's so topical that you timed it like that, not knowing. That's very cool. You're
I'm
ahead
very
of it. That's cool.
prescient, dude. I have a seventh sense. Because my sixth sense
Definitely gonna play Suikoden. Definitely.
Yeah, my olfactory butt cheeks. So I'm really enjoying that. Outside of it, Overwatch got a big update yesterday. A little bit of Marvel Rivals with the siblings. Yeah. So what's been going on in Douglasville?
Well, I had a professional development convention conference dealio last week that is a yearly thing for me, and it was great. And my wife came down for the very first time. I've been going to this convention for years, and she finally came down for the final day, and it was her first night away from our baby. And so
Yes.
Yes.
It's huge. It's big parenting steps. We love this.
we love to see it. Big first step for her and for us as mom and dad. To be
one
fully
giant
away
step
from him.
for mom kind, dude.
I know, man. Because let's be real, being a mom, it is just a lot harder than being a dad. It is. That's one of the things I've learned. You know, it's just so it's so much tougher for them, and especially leaving baby for many reasons. So, anyways, very proud of her. So we got to spend some time together on Valentine's Day, which was nice. Talk about romantic, bringing my wife to a band.
Oh my gosh, that's right.
It was Valentine's Day.
Hey, honey, check out this new line of alto clarinets they're coming out with. It's wonderful.
Gosh. Oh, man. That's horrifying. All right.
No, that's sweet that was on Valentine's Day, though. The way the stars align, it's good.
Yeah.
It's very, very good.
No, it was great. And so, honestly, I haven't been playing many games this week because between leaving for the convention, being gone, and coming back, with work being busy, other than Saturday night, Jake and I had a good old-fashioned, 4-hour Siege O-Rama. I went back and I looked at several of our replays the next day, and I was like, we played 13 matches.
It was really great.
It was like
I don't think it wasn't literally 13 rounds.
Jake, I think it was
game.
we started at 7:30 my time, and our last match was at 12:30 my time.
That's pretty good. Dang.
Yeah. Yeah. Or 12:15 or something like that. But yeah,
we just never do that anymore. You know, it is let's do it to it. All right. And we also talked for an hour before that. We were catching up and just being bros about it. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, we had a great one. It was good.
We did, and I went back and watched the very last one, which was quite late. I had a beverage or two, and watching it, I was like, I got a triple kill on the very first round. I got a triple kill, and I was watching.
You were good and warmed up. You were kind of crushing it a little bit.
Yeah, and so it was fun. I'm smiling ear to ear. Look at me, I got these lines in my face. I mean, I'm telling you, man, Siege is back, and it's back just in time for some really special things to start happening, which we're going to get into.
Oh my god,
That's right.
In a little bit. Jake, what about you? What have you been up to other than breathing life back into Rainbow Six Siege?
Oh, I've been we are the media, ladies and gentlemen. I've been single-handedly getting the world excited about Rainbow Six Siege again. For real, check out our YouTube channel. We've got a new video we just posted of when all three of us played R6 Siege for the first time in literally a year. And it's just a little 20-minute video of one of our rounds that went pretty well. It was a great time. So the Siege thing on Saturday really just got me amped all the way up for Siege. I was like, I'm so down. Yes. I'm so down, and I'm ready to crank it, and I'm ready to practice playing Rainbow Six Siege. I kid you not. On Sunday night and Monday afternoon or whenever it was, I was editing aforementioned Siege video, and you guys, I went into the shooting range on Rainbow Six Siege, and I shot dummies and the little bouncing balls or whatever while listening to our podcast, our video, and like making markers and edits and stuff for the video. Because I was just like, hey man, it's all mechanics, right? Let me just practice and let me try this gun. Oh, I use this gun a lot, whatever.
Did it work?
I can, if I set the timer for 30 seconds, the guns that I'm good with, I can get like 34 or 35 kills, depending on... Anyway, I don't know. It's not important. Stats don't matter. Kills don't matter. It's a team-based game. It's a chess game, okay? But yeah, I think it works. I don't know. I feel like I was getting better. And the best part is this, guys. There's more on the way. It's not letting up. The thing that I ended our night with on Saturday was, Greg, don't forget, the R6 Invitational is going on right now. The grand final is tomorrow. You just check it out. Here's what time it's at. Go to the Twitch channel. Go to the YouTube channel. And he was like, oh, sick. I might check that out. So Sunday comes. We go to church. Church was great. And then I leave church. I'm like, hey, Day, you watching that bad boy? What up? And he was like, these guys are stupid. I was like, I know. It's so good. And, you know, the level of dedication and mechanics and skill is bar none. But that's esports no matter what game you're watching, right? The difference with Siege is that if you've played the game as much as we have, which is to say several hundred hours, right? In my case, well over 1,000. But in for all three of us, we've played that game a bit. It is so freaking cool to watch the team play come together as the environment changes around them and how they pivot and make adjustments and kind of keep the whole chessboard in their head, right? The commentators, they talk really fast. Honestly, I could watch it on mute and still enjoy it because the commentating is like a lot. But there's things like a guy shoots a nitro cell out of midair because he knew that the defenders had it and there was an open hatch and he anticipated them throwing it up at him. The things where like they play the timer or they play the clock because they know that somebody has to do something at a certain time in order, like planting the diffuser or whatever. They anticipate, and so they hold angles until a certain critical time and then they fire. And it was really neat. I don't really care who wins. I don't have a dog in that fight. I don't have like a team I have any sort of allegiance to. But I know that every time I tune into the R6 Pro League, I am amazed and I get really jazzed about the game. Not because I want to like aspire to that level of gameplay, but because it really solidifies in my mind, no wonder I like this game. Like, it's a thinking man's game. Yeah, skill issue. Yeah, I've got a ceiling. Yeah, I'm fucking old, right? But the parts of the game that I like the most are on full display in an event like that. So it was very, very cool to watch that on Sunday. My wife, you guys, she was like, "So who won? Who won?" Like I was watching the video while I was cooking, and she watched it for a little bit with me. And it's long. It's like a 4.5 hour long stream. The whole grand final. And she asked me, if BDS won or if FaZe Clan won, and I said, it's a very long intro. I haven't finished watching it yet. So
the Buffalo Bills won.
Yeah, right. So FaZe Clan won. FaZe Clan has been around for a long time in the esports scene, going
FaZe
back to Quake
Clan?
and FaZe, FAZE. Occasionally you'll see, and I know it's kind of obnoxious because it's this club, it's this clan, it's this thing that's been going on forever. Every game that's ever been popular that has a multiplayer scene, you will find someone whose like clan tag is FaZe, or in the case of Rainbow Six Siege, I know I've seen like FaZe dot username or whatever, and some of those guys are probably posers. I don't know,
Right.
but so that was cool to see the final. The most important part, however, regardless of whether you enjoy watching esports or not, is that this was the venue at which they decided to tease Siege X, which is a new game coming out. I won't bore you with the whole spiel, but the gist of it is there's a massive overhaul, audio and visual improvement, new gameplay mechanics. They haven't said this explicitly, but I think it's pretty well implied, game modes. I don't know if that means there's an extraction mode and then there's the typical plant the bomb siege mode. I don't know what that means exactly, but it seems like it's basically a brand new kind of version of Siege. It's called Siege X, and they teased it. So what I'd like to do is two things. I want to watch the teaser, all three of us, for Siege X, and I'd like for us to watch a clip from the grand final. So I'm going to share my screen. Here you go, coming at you. Boop. Boop. This is one of the most incredible clips that I've seen in the Pro League. Not that there's any shortage of those. There's a lot, but FaZe is in the they both have won a map. FaZe has won 2 maps, but BDS has also won one of the maps. So they're at a point where it's currently 2-1. You got to win 7. FaZe is down 1. BDS has 2. FaZe has 1. And this is basically the beginning of this round on Clubhouse. The attackers have just gotten onto the roof, and they're going to start playing Clubhouse. We're just going to watch this round.
Didn't even look like he hit that camera. That was so crazy.
I know.
You'll notice, by the way, not only are the mechanics just incredible, but the objective's on the basement. But they have to clear, because of how Pro League is, the meta is so much different from normie just playing. They're going to clear like the whole map because they have to, because there's lots of verticality and roaming and all kinds of stuff. This is what's so cool to me. There's 27 seconds left, and it's just 4-on-5. Like, there's only been 1 kill. It's all coming down to this like last push. So nuts.
Whoa.
Yo, how is that, dude? The time left on the clock for that kill. Let's see, 4-18.
If you, I'm going to say, a little secret little YouTube hack that I use is the J key goes back 10 seconds. I love that one.
Oh, 10 seconds. Cool. I'm using period and comma to go back frame by frame.
I'm gay.
So he grabs the diffuser because he probably should, but then he decides, let me just bait him out. Because if we lose, we lose. We're already up 1 whole map. It's only 2-1. Like, it's whatever. But I had to really sweat to get the kills that I got to get this 1v1. Let me just hold the angle. I know where he is. Maybe he's somebody, I don't know, somebody called him out or whatever. So he's like, if he peeks, I win that way. If I plant, he's going to kill me. Nothing I can do. Here's the only thing. The only way I could really win is to do this. And he finally fires at... His reaction time is so cool to see here, too. He goes at literally a half a second with 0.55 seconds on the clock is when he pulls the trigger and like gets
So
this
wait,
guy.
why did the
so
defense
cool
push?
the way that it happened at the last second. He shouldn't have. That's the thing. He shouldn't have. He shouldn't have done
what
that.
world was that a good move? I don't understand.
I think he thought that he would try to plant.
Right,
like
just a desperation
maybe
plant.
he's in the middle of planting right now. I need to go find him. Maybe he's planting not in in that meeting area with the jukebox, but maybe he's planting somewhere else.
Gotcha.
Let me go ahead and go find him, because if I can kill him while he's planting, that's easy, right? Because if he is already planted and he's a shield op and I got to go against him, that's going to be a little trickier.
Mind games.
He should have just waited. He should have waited until the clock was actually at 0, because you know how it is. If somebody's still planting and it's at 0, then...
Right.
But they goofed, and FaZe got a map on them. Well, they won the whole thing. They tied it up 2-2 with the end of that round, and then they went on to win. just really cool. And to see everybody else's like reaction.
Right.
I was like, oh, that place is sold out. This venue up in Boston.
Right.
That guy looks exactly the way I'd imagine someone that good at the game to look.
Dude, it's so funny. The esports dudes are either like mega scrawny, they eat like a pack of ramen a day, just
and
like
they've never seen
Gamer
the sun.
Cave, and they've never seen the sun, or they're like great big old dudes that look like they play video games all day. The crowd is really interesting because they were basically rooting for BDS to spite FaZe, but as FaZe was pulling off these incredible plays, you know, they kind of won the crowd over a little bit. And they occasionally, the cameramen, they pivot to people that are like cosplaying and stuff. There's people with straight up like, you know, Doc and Alibi and Hibana and Brooke and Castle and Ace and Valk. Yeah. Somebody, I don't know if it was somebody that's like sort of a streamer and like famous or what, but somebody that was cosplaying as Valk, she had like 3D printed actual little plastic like cams that looked like the black eye cams. It was really cool. But anyway, I really want to go to a R6 major at some point with you guys. I think that would be
there a more
very
lopsided territory between men and women. You're talking earlier about how women get the short end of the straw with like pregnancy and stuff, how it's harder to be a mother than a father. But boy, I'll tell you what, it is harder to be a male cosplayer than a female one.
And it's not close.
Pretty much every female cosplayer, there's some guy at the convention who's like, you wanna suck me on? And then just like most of the men are just like fat and gross and just like nobody wants to talk to them.
No wonder they relegate to living online as female cosplayers so that they can, you know, farm the clicks and the views and whatever. Because I don't want to interact with these people in real life. Are you kidding me?
Right.
So anyway, that was the clip that I wanted to show you. There's
Crazy.
lots and lots of other great clips. Here's the teaser for CJX. Here you go.
So
yeah,
they decided that
March
they're
13th.
just going to skip all 9 other iterations and just jump straight to 10. Only the French.
Yeah, X is so it's very Xbox, right? It's very Microsoft. I think CJX is like it's kind of a dated like bottom of the barrel like thing to go with as your like sequel
it's
moniker.
year 10.
But it's better. I think and it is year 10. I think that's where they get away with it. You're absolutely right, Greg. The fact that this game's been out for 10 years and in the 10th year they're kind of migrating and pushing forward into this new thing is very sick. And so you get away with it in that sense. But I guess they also just want to make a distinction that like it's not a Rainbow Six Siege 2. That would imply brand new sets of operators, brand new maps, brand new whatevers. And so I think there's going to be enough of it that is the same. But it's crazy to me because, you know, we're going to play later tonight, not even record it and just enjoy it, right? But the way that there's so many operators now is like just mind-boggling. And we've said this before, there's almost no such thing as bad team comp. There's no person you absolutely have to bring. There's like 1,001 ways to do any given objective in the game. And so for them to go another level deeper, it's like, what do you got? What do you got in the magazine here? Like, what are we doing? Couple of highlights that people are talking about. There's this right here. There's this like sort of moving like thing. People are like, "Ooh, is this like a new objective type? This looks like a spotting mechanism or like an extraction point or like a thing." These like circles that are moving on the ground. This is very sick. Freaking IQ is running on the rappel like laterally across the wall of the building. That's very cool. I think we can all agree that rappelling is a very precarious thing to do in the game. And there's something really satisfying about shooting someone who's rappelling and just like finding their head or whatever. And so for there to be options for attackers to like laterally move, you know, run along a wall would be kind of cool. Other people are like, what is this, Titanfall? Like, you know, freaking parkour or something. Right. But she's definitely, you know, she's hooked in. You can see right there.
You mean fall.
Excuse me, fall.
Wow. A classic game.
And then a classic. And then this is something that people have really honed in on because there's people that are under NDA who have screenshotted a couple parts of the teaser and said, look closer, you know, sort of all cryptic. And they could be engagement farming. I don't know. But there's this scene in this hallway, which is the basement of Clubhouse, right? At least I should.
Obviously.
I should think so. It seems like it is, right? You can see the armory, right? I'm such a loser. It definitely appears to be the basement of Clubhouse, which is prescient because the final that we just watched, it ended on Clubhouse. How cool is that? The way that those kind of dovetail is really neat. So there's this thing that happens where there's an explosion in one place, I assume a breaching charge, and it kicks off this direction and blows open that wall over there. Unless that's a different explosion, and it doesn't look like it is. It looks like there's this sort of like jet, like a shaped charge, which is a thing in the real world and in the military. There's shaped charges that they blow up the thing that they're on, but they also tunnel through with hot plasma to make a secondary explosion elsewhere. So it looks like there's like some other crazy breaching thingy happening. And then this nitro cell that's on the right goes off, and it causes a secondary explosion on the fire extinguisher on the left side of the screen. So there's people that are like, maybe it's just more physics, it's just kind of more stuff. There's stuff in the map that like you interact with more, which is very rad. I think that would be cool. I don't think this game needs more mechanics though, it's like, oh, what I got to make sure I don't trip over the doorstop. What do I, what are we doing here? I don't, and then there's one point as the explosion kind of like dissipates, where you kind of get the outline. Maybe it was right before that. Well, now I'm not so sure. There's some screenshot that somebody put out that it looks like the outline of a person. Maybe it's here. It looks like the outline of a character, and there's a bunch of people talking about, oh, who's that, I wonder? And it's like, all right, now you're reaching a little bit. But it's super cool, dude. CJX, I can think of a lot of things that I want it to be, but it's almost not worth thinking about. Just wait till March 13th. They're doing a whole live event. Oh, wow. You can like buy tickets to go to this thing in Atlanta for like the reveal of CJX.
I thought of this whole crazy plan because I'm going to North Carolina to visit here in a few weeks. And,
yeah, you are. Buddy.
Funny enough, Atlanta is on the way back to Texas from North Carolina, and I may actually be driving a moving truck for my mom back from North Carolina to Texas.
You just wheel
on
into
March
the
13th?
Atlanta Convention Center
yes.
in a U-Haul.
Greg, I wouldn't dare tell you how to like run your life. I wouldn't dare say take a detour, forget moving mom stuff across the country, go to this Siege event. But if you choose of your own accord to go to this thing, I will absolutely Venmo you some gas money and some walking around money and make it so that you can be our man on the ground. That would be
I would only do it if you got the moving van with me, and then I'll just fly you back from Dallas whenever we get here.
That would be very radical. Oh my gosh. Yeah. So I think I don't know. I think there's something to be excited about here. I'm not convinced that Siege is my new favorite thing in the whole universe. I've been playing, I didn't even say this, I've been playing Battlefield a lot because Battlefield is a super fun meat grinder, just like, thing to do in the afternoon. I've played a little bit of Battlefield here and there. I've continued to play Soul Calibur 6 on my Steam Deck. There's other things I'm doing. Watching Severance. Oh my gosh. Greg, are you current on Severance
I'm not,
yet?
No.
Okay, it's okay. I wanted to plug Severance. It's a great show on Apple TV. So there's plenty of other things going on in my life, but Siege is making a comeback, at least for me, and we're going to keep following that sucker. So you guys have any thoughts on this whole Siege X thing? What do we think?
No, mostly I was thinking about that movie Ice Age during that. Dude, how weird is it that they made an animated movie with Ray Romano, Dennis Leary, and John Leguizamo? Those were the three.
Those are the three they went with.
What an insane voice acting cast to go with.
I was really hoping that bringing this up on the podcast was just a vehicle for you to do your Ray Romano impression to some degree.
Oh, I could. I mean, oh yeah, Dad, you're going to see Siege? That's great. Deborah is at home. She got my balls in a vice. She won't let me do anything. I'm gay. Deborah. Deborah, I got my ball stuck in my zipper again. I need your help. There you go.
Raymond, what has Deborah told you about that?
You doing Robert?
Who's just
The brother?
I thought I was. Yeah. He sounds like it's like the most baritone bass, like very low male voice, but
Right.
almost like he has his nose plugged too.
Yeah, he does.
What
He
if
does.
we
There's a little
told
bit of
you
that.
about complaining about the ball vice.
You know, and it's
Yeah,
like, what
dude.
are you doing?
He does the sandwich commercials now or something.
Sandwich.
He's like Jersey Mike commercials or something, putting his penis in the sandwich. I don't know, something like that. Twisting
Danny
his
DeVito
mustache.
does Jersey Mike.
Yeah, Danny DeVito
Anyway,
does.
Greg, are you stoked on CJX? What do we think about this?
I am. I think. Here's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping for more realistic lighting to return to the game.
Yes, the lighting. Yes, the way the game used to be.
I don't know why they ever got rid of that. So I'm hoping for more realistic lighting. I would love more environmental interaction, things like fire extinguishers, etc. Just things in the environment. The only thing I wouldn't like about that is if it's something that's always on the map. I can see it being cool for a month, and then people shooting you in the head for why'd you shoot the fire extinguisher? That's not the meta. And
Exactly.
someone
That's
shooting
the
you in the head.
problem. The more mechanics there are, the more crap that some guy is going to start talking in all chat. You know,
learning
and it's
curve
like,
stuff.
what are we doing there? Yeah.
What did they change with the lighting? They introduced some kind of like dynamic, like NVIDIA technology thing or something? What?
No, there used to be really dynamic lighting, right? And there's not anymore.
So I just, since
they
you brought it up,
remove
Greg,
features?
it made me want to pull up the original gameplay world premiere video from E3 in 2014. Okay, in 2014, Rainbow Six Siege gameplay world premiere. This is, supposedly supposed to be real gameplay. It's highly like rendered, and there's some contextual stuff that they kind of animated in that like didn't make it to the game clearly. But the color palette and the lighting and like the whole steez of it was going to be different. There was going to be sort of like in Due Process, which Jared and I talked about in the past. There was going to be this like plan it out by looking at a map thing where you can like draw on a screen and then say we're going to breach here, we're going to breach here. And you used to, there's like a helicopter like rope infill that was originally supposed
that's
to be part of the game.
infiltration for you plebes out there.
That's right. So the fast rope helo situation is super tactical, right? Now this is all in the game, of course, right? Breach charge, repelling, this is all fine.
They also took,
But this
were there
is-
ever night maps in the game?
Yes. I don't remember them being implemented super well, I'll say that, but the difference between indoors and outdoors used to be really different, and what they did was they redid the lighting engine so that there was less like of a blinding effect, because if you were indoors and it was kind of dark and you were looking at a window, it was like super bright because of the contrast, and so they changed that. But that kind of is on display here, where like indoors and outdoors are so different because it's a night map.
And did one of the defenders just slip out the window right there too?
So yeah, they could move the hostage. This is a
wow.
game mode that you don't really play unless you do quick match or whatever. But getting a hostage is one of the original kind of archetypes of gameplay originally, because that's like some serious real world mission planning that goes into our armed forces and FBI, and the FBI has a highly specialized team called the Hostage Rescue Team. It's like their whole thing.
The DOGE.
Right. And so there's a lot of ways to show tactical stuff in a video game, and it seemed like when this world premiere came out that this was going to be kind of the most realistic, gritty thing we've seen. Again, there's a lot of like choreographed kind of extra stuff, classic E3 goofs and gaffes here, but super dramatic and very cool. I think this would have been neat if they made like a single player campaign. You remember how single player campaigns used to be like really engaging and freaking bazillion-dollar movie quality?
Yeah.
I kind of think Rainbow Six Siege is due for something like that. That would be very radical to me, but I'm not sure that will be something we get. Whatever. There's a lot of lore in the game. They could do a lot, but and that map too, man. That's the old version of the house. That's sort of on display there, and it looks so good, and like that close quarters thing is so cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, the lighting used to be different. I feel you, Dag. I think CJX, maybe if there was a different kind of color palette and like grit to something, that would be cool for things to be more contrasty, and not high contrast, bright color like the finals, but to have a contrast between light and dark. Night vision, make it so that there's an actual night map where everybody's got NVGs. Like that'd be sick. I think that'd be because then the defenders would have all kinds of tools to blow out your freaking tubes with a flashbang or something. Like there'd be lots of ways to play with that. Like, oh, they've got nods, let's do this.
That would be cool.
Very cool.
You'd think that they would have tapped everything like that already. There's so much cool.
Well, we got the Mozzie Pizza skin.
I mean, there's the Mozzie Pizza skin, which is like...
Who needs nods on a
right.
tactical entry squad when you have Mozzie Pizza skin?
Well, the FBI actually has a pizza squad. I don't know if you guys know that. They're just below the hostage rescue squad.
Right.
They just eat like a bunch of pizza.
Pizza Force, dude. Super secret. I didn't know. Now that I know that name, I actually have to kill you now.
Oh, my gosh. What the heck, dude? Because I know Pizza Force?
Yeah, dude, Pizza Force. You never heard about Pizza Force?
Pizza sounds
Top
so
secret.
good right now.
I didn't. I've never heard of it. I swear. Dude, it sounds more than good. It sounds incredible right now. Come on, get out of here with that. That underwhelming. Pizza sounds incredible right now.
I threw a pizza in the oven last night. You kidding me? This shit rules.
You just threw it in there. Stupid pizza. Jake is a pizza disrespecter, dude. You're in timeout, dude. Deg, if you could get... I shouldn't even ask you this because this is gonna make it harder for you. But if you could get the pizza right now, what would be the pizza?
Oh gosh, I'm a sucker for like a classic pepperoni pizza, like with quality pepperoni, quality cheese, extra cheese.
Okay,
I like all pizza. I'm not a pizza elitist.
No, I'm not saying you're pizza elitist. I'm just saying I would get like a pineapple pizza with some jalapenos on it, some bacon, extra bacon, extra cheese. Go to town on that pizza right now, dude. It would be sexual.
My wife and I, our favorite pizza place here in Fort Worth, they make these like gigantic pepperoni pizzas with itty bitty pepperonis.
That's so annoying.
They're so good, but like tons of like itty bitty pepperonis are so good, man.
Bro, that makes me angry.
Pepperoni cubes.
That makes me so angry, man. I don't know why, but it makes me angry that they just were like, hey, look, Mike, we got these tiny little pepperonis. Hey, check this out. I'm going to make the biggest pizza in the world. It's almost as disrespectful to pizza as Jake throwing a pizza in the oven like he does, dude.
Hey, come on.
He always does that. He makes pizza and he like hand tosses it and it's like artisan style. Like I've seen him do it. It's like really impressive. And I was like, man, I can't wait. And I was like rubbing my palms together and like licking my lips. And he goes, hey, check this out. And he just threw it in the oven like upside down. I was like, what was that for? He says, let's go. We're going to Domino's. He does that to people. It's weird, dude. It's really weird. Such a waste.
The secret's out. Don't come to my house for pizza.
He's into BDSM pizza making. Tantric pizza.
I'm gonna edge you, dude. I'm gonna edge your pizza anticipation. I'm gonna edge it, and then I'm gonna demolish it.
And then,
and
then you pull a Red Baron out of the freezer, and you're like, time to put it in the microwave.
Tombstone, baby. That's what you're getting.
Yeah,
you little piece of shit. I bet you like it, don't you? You like Tombstone, don't you?
Like degrading.
What about you, Jake? What would be your pizza of choice?
Oh, it's both difficult and easy. If I'm getting actual freezer pizza, freaking store brand stuffed crust meat lovers is super rad because it's store brand. It's cheaper, but it's also stuffed crust, which is just ridiculous and so good. I love putting a little sriracha drizzle on top. It's very good. But if I'm gonna go get the good stuff, the actual artisanal pizza made by a real craftsman, Greg knows because he's been there. There's a restaurant in Sanford, North Carolina called La Dolce Vita that is in an old post office or a bank or something. And I know here's why it's such a big deal. Sanford used to be a dumperino, and so the idea that there's like a nice hip spot downtown Sanford is like mind-boggling for anybody that's been there for longer than 10 years ago. It's like, oh, hey, look, did you guys go to the new place in Sanford yet? The new place in Sanford is a sentence you don't get to say very often.
A Chick-fil-A, it's probably.
Like, yeah, right. Literally, Sanford got a Chick-fil-A a couple years ago, and people their pants.
Also, the irony of the term downtown Sanford.
Right, downtown.
That's like where there's like 12 people instead of 3.
And so in downtown Sanford, there's like 2 breweries and little boutiques that people have opened up. And electric car charging stations, and a restaurant called La Dolce Vita. And what they do is the whole wood-fired thing, made to order pizzas, and they make a bacon Alfredo pizza that is super good. I love a white pizza. The white sauce pizzas are absolutely my jam. I'll take almost anything on the pizza, minus like sardines or bull testicles or whatever weird stuff. Keep the nasty stuff off, but pineapple and ham is totally fine with me. The old school what is it, margarita, right, where it's just kind of tomatoes and mozzarella and whatever, like that's fine.
Right. Wasting away in Margarita Pizzaville.
Yes, dude, absolutely. So there's that restaurant makes a great bacon Alfredo pizza that I think also maybe has maybe mushrooms and maybe black olives or something. It's very good, very, very good. And they've got good local beer on tap, and they've got a gelato bar, which is cool. So you can get some ice cream, get some gelato, and they also have a coffee bar, and they can pull a shot of espresso over your gelato, known as an affogato. And I'm a major affogato, if you know what I'm saying. Okay,
I think I know what you're saying with that.
Yeah, I love a good espresso and gelato. It's very good. So.
Well, do you guys have mod pizza out there in your necks of the woods, in your respective necks?
I know what you're talking about from when I lived in Tucson. Okay. I've not seen one around here. I bet that, Greg, you figure there's probably a mod pizza in Charlotte and Raleigh and all that kind of stuff, right?
We have one. I think we have several in Fort Worth, but I'm sure there's one in Charlotte, in the Charlotte area. Yeah.
You guys
Those are a pretty good value proposition, right? Because you can just load that bad boy up.
They used to be. I haven't been in a while.
It's like Subway, but with pizza.
Right. And I would just get everything on it.
Yeah.
And they would put it on there. It was like, all right.
Yeah.
This is
That's
cool.
so sick.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
I would make special requests to be like, and that, can I get some of that? All of the meats, that's great. And then at the end, I'd be like, can you fart on it?
Ooh, it's going to cost you extra.
I don't know if I'm allowed.
They get all bashful.
Yeah. It's some cute little girl. I'm like, can you fart on it? And then she's like, 1 sec. She goes in the back, and this giant guy comes out. I'm like, no, not you.
No, not you.
You asked for it.
No. Can I get some of that gamer girl bathwater vinaigrette on there, please, sweet cheeks? He's like, yeah, I'll be right back.
1 sec.
And freaking, old dude comes out. You're like, no.
Bruno comes out of the back and just lights one up right across your pizza after you pay.
Oh, cooked one up special for you, brother.
Yeah, here you go, boss.
Oh my gosh. Well, I blame this past conversation on Mozzie Pizza Skin. That is absolutely Mozzie's fault. And maybe a little bit of Deck's fault, but mostly Mozzie Pizza Skin.
Yeah.
Folks, what a joy. What a pleasure. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you join us next week when we talk about some other crap. I don't know. I hope you are digging Siege. Check it out. It's free or cheap, depending on whether you bought it at $5 on a sale one time or if you got it for free from a buddy. I'm sure you could get at least a little bit of enjoyment out of it. And I hope you let us know what you think in the comments. Let us know on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, on YouTube, on Instagram. Find us at 3 Grass Touchers and let us know what you're digging about the show. We love you. We appreciate you. Tune in next time. And until then, don't forget to get out there and touch some grass.